Hello, friends, riff masters, and acolytes. Hey, it's Aaron and Chris coming at you for another episode of the Mindful CEO.
Clean
What's up,
shaven,
Aaron?
Aaron. Clean
What did you
shaven there.
clean? Yes, I mean you totally ruined our doppelganger effect here.
I know. I fucked it up. But there you go.
But so
Yeah.
we can call
But
you
if I put this
babyface. I
on,
mean,
my Kale's like, okay, you look like a monk now. So
that's great. Or Voldemort.
yes, or Voldemort. Yeah, thank you. It's great. That's the look I was going for as well.
Well, you
I,
know, it's all yeah. I mean, if I can't razz you
and I
for
was talking next
ruining our
year.
doppelganger effect, then
I want to go back to costumes where I don't have to shave. Halloween
yes.
costumes where I'm not required to shave.
By the way, though, great costume. Like, I mean, I went and looked. I didn't know the reference, so I went and looked at it, which was you said Portlandia.
Mhm.
Went and looked at the pictures on Portlandia. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's you
No, we
guys
totally nailed it. For those
nailed it.
anyone who knew it, they were like blown away. But not everyone knew it. Everyone was like, "Oh, look, Aaron's in drag. Ah, cute." Right? Oh,
No
look.
man, I saw Fred Armiston on the picture on when I googled it, and I'm like, oh my god, that's what Aaron exactly looked like.
Yeah, yeah. No, we
I didn't
nailed it.
realize you looked so much like Fred Armiston.
I didn't either. Um, but it was also good too because the attitude was easy to replicate. It was very sort of natural, just sort of a snarky, higher,
Uh-huh.
holier
That's
than thou.
that's right in your wheelhouse.
It's right in my wheelhouse. There was nothing not
Yeah,
my
man.
wheelhouse.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's too much. That's
yeah. So
hilarious.
yeah, it was good.
It's almost like you took, something ordinary, like, a
Oh, don't
show
do that.
or a
No.
costume or Halloween, and you made it extraordinary. You made it
That's really
mythical.
not. That's the bad lead in. That's really clunky as
I
shit.
mean, you didn't give me much. I was trying to.
Um, so here's the prompt that it's our assistant over at Blort AI came up with.
Lord,
Blort. I know, right? Blort.
I
Um,
hate that. I hate saying that. It feels
I
bad in my
know,
mouth.
Blort. Uh, but here's the paradox. Okay, this is the question, and I liked it. Was if you try and direct yourself to the way, you miss it. So
Mm-hmm.
if what if the most spiritual thing you can do today is answer one email, fully present? And the whole idea of this is wrapped up in that the ordinary is the way, the day to day is the way, the day to day is mythical. That's what you were pointing to, is
Uh,
that the ordinary
yeah.
is mythical, that there is no way outside of chop wood, carry water. That's, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry
Yeah.
water. There is no
Right. Yeah.
anything but ordinariness. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's, so if we look into really the most ordinary space we can occupy
Yeah.
is distracted,
The most
unfocused.
ordinary place we tend to occupy is distracted.
Yeah, that we occupy. Yeah, that,
Yeah. Not
that
like
we
we
by
can
the
as like we
no, but
want
by
to. We don't
default.
want to occupy distracted. We tend
Well, that's
to.
the thing, is that we
Yeah.
constantly, especially when you're engaged in this kind of a conversation that you and I are in, distracted becomes the enemy.
Mm,
Like it's bad. Like it's
mhm.
like we're
It's not
fighting.
mindful. It's not
It's not
mindful.
mindful. We're fighting distraction. And I teach this every time I teach. It's the number one thing that fucks people up in meditation is the distraction is the way. That your mind wanders isn't a problem to be solved. It's the solution.
Mm,
It's
mm,
the thing.
mm.
There's nothing else but distraction. And then noticing the distraction. And the moment you notice the distraction, something else becomes possible, but not because you eliminated the distraction or you resisted the distraction or you weren't distracted. The whole thing arises because you noticed, oh, the mind has wandered. And that the moment you're now fully present to what? To being distracted. But that's all there is. That's
Yeah.
always the door in. And the statement that the ordinary is mythical, that if you go looking for the way, like if you try and get not distracted,
Yeah.
You're never going to fucking get there. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I don't think you're never going to get there like you're never going to get there uh, metaphorically. You're never going to get there because you're never going to get there because that's not the way it works.
Yeah.
Your only path in is distraction. Your only path to losing desire is the desire to lose desire. Oh, fuck. I mean, that's it right there. That's the
Right.
sort of the
Yeah.
ultimate Buddha paradox is your only path to losing desire is a desire to lose desire.
There's a
And
lot happening over here for me. So,
yeah, go ahead.
well, I mean, the couple of acts. One is, some of the old scripts like you have to lose yourself to find yourself. The
Mm,
paradox of like, for a lot of years, I wore um, an identity of being a seeker
mm,
as a badge of honor. Like I'm seeking wisdom. I'm a seeker. I'm hungry. I want to learn. And the challenge with that for me was I was always almost there. I was always almost there. I never got there in air quotes. I never got there because the identity was wrapped up in seeking. And if you're trying to find it, you can't find it. So I
mm.
was always frustrated by, God, I'm a good student. I'm a good learner. I have an earnest heart to know, to understand, and constantly feeling thwarted. Like, God, I can't resolve it. Yeah, because I'm wrapped up in being proud of seeking, which is to your point. Like, if you're going to try to find it, you can't find it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You can't, yeah, you can't continue. It's right in the wheelhouse of living a grateful life because living a grateful life starts with you don't go seeking gratitude. Gratitude is what
Mm,
you can't go find gratitude. What you use gratitude as the flashlight.
mm,
Gratitude is
mm.
what allows you to see anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That if you start looking through gratitude, not for gratitude,
Yeah.
um, that you have to stop being a seeker, or otherwise you're just going to wind up seeking.
Yeah.
You need to be a finder.
Right. Yeah. Right. 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 Right.
And
Yeah.
what is there to find? Well, right now there's dishes in the
Yes.
sink and my feet are a little bit cold and
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Yeah.
body sensation here of a little bit of tension because I'm about to sit and write and I'm going to find all that. And all of that is fucking mythical. It is you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's the way. What is this? There's a story here. What is this story? Like a Buddhist story that they're recommending for this conversation. What is it? Oh, um, yeah, the everyday mind is the way. That
Mm-hmm.
everyday mind is the way. That you don't need some you don't need some higher state.
Mm.
That just seeing things as they are in the moment is the way. And however they are, dishes in the sink,
Yeah.
distractions and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it is a paradox. Not knowing, here's the little saying. So um not knowing is not stupidity. It's openness beyond yes, no thinking. And I think that ties in really well with you know, we want there to be a state in which it all just comes obviously and instantly and clearly and without effort. And we're looking to and as long as it's not in that state, then we can justify it not being with us because we just haven't arrived yet.
Mm.
The thought
Mm-hmm.
that it's already there at all times is a little bit confronting like that because we would then have no excuse to not be present to it all the time.
It makes me think of like, then what the fuck am I doing all this for? Like, I set my life up to go down a road and to do a bunch of gymnastics so that I could get something. If I don't have to do all that to get it because it's already there, then what the hell am I doing all this for? And it would mean I'd have to like lay it all down I mean, that's kind of like in some ways it's an, it's empty and meaningless that it's empty and meaningless. Like, oh crap, what now? What? My whole life's been a response to a story I created. And now you're telling me that story is not real. And I'm like, shit, I built my life and identity on that story. Now what?
And that's so, as a foreign graduate, that's not news. That's
Right.
that's not like, oh, I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing it. You're hearing it
Yeah.
again
Right.
for sure. This is one of the best, most profound, and it's directly what you're talking about. I always looked at it as an explanation of the forum, but really it's an explanation of this too, because the forum is really just an explanation of this ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's a scene in Talladega Nights. So anytime I can
Yes,
tag
please.
Talladega
Yes,
Night,
please.
it's just because my family and I have a debate going about where that fits in the pantheon of great movies. And it's
I love
I don't
that
even
movie.
I don't ever see it out of the top three.
That's so
I
good.
don't I mean I would be hard pressed to put it outside. For me, it's Young Frankenstein and that, and I don't really have a lot of Holy Grail. So top
Yeah, yeah.
three, it's in that category for
I
me.
love that.
Um, but there's a scene where you've seen it, yes?
Yes, I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so no spoiler alert here.
Many
So
times.
um when Ricky Bobby's father comes back into the picture and they head to Applebee's and he freaks out. He can't take it so stable. He
Hmm.
can't take it so friendly,
Yeah.
and he decides to ruin it by,
Mm.
getting in a fight with the waitress,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then gets thrown out
Hmm.
and he's walking down the middle of the highway, hitchhiking both ways. And Ricky Bobby's yelling at him and asking him what's he supposed to do now. You know, he did his whole life based on, to please his father about if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the father's like, what the fuck are you talking about if you're not first, you're last? And he goes, well, you told me that when I was a kid, and I believe that. And that was I've lived my life that way. He's like, well, that's stupid. You could be second, you could be third, you could be, hell, you could even be fifth, Ricky Bobby. I must have been high when I said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Ricky Bobby says, well, I based my whole life on that. What am I supposed to do now?
That's so good.
And the father goes, well, that's the $64 million question, isn't it, son? And just keeps
Mm,
hitchhiking. I mean,
that's awesome.
it just couldn't be more. I based my whole life on that. I
Yeah.
must have been high when I said that. Well,
Oh man.
and that is
Wow.
the way we've constructed our lives based on some decision we
Yeah.
made when we were either high or five,
Yeah.
and those are pretty much the same state, you know, and and then we built our whole life around it.
Yeah.
And we don't know what to do if you take that away. Because
Yeah.
and it does that thing about not knowing occurs as a weakness in that context.
Right.
It doesn't occur as a alternative to yes no thinking, an openness,
Opening.
an opening
Yeah.
beyond yes no thinking. What am I supposed to
Yeah.
do with it? Well, that is the question.
That is the question.
That's the
Yeah.
question the forum leaves you with for sure, is what's your life going to be for? Because all of a sudden you have the opportunity to make your life for something that's outside the realm of the story you told yourself, which has always been about making it,
Yeah.
fitting in, you know, avoiding looking bad,
Yep.
looking good, and you have an option to do something else than that. And from a mindfulness perspective, you rather than chasing outcomes and trying to fulfill some version of yourself that never existed anyway, that you have the opportunity to answer an email.
Yeah.
That's what my life is for doing these dishes and making this cup of coffee.
Mm,
And as this coffee gets complete, then what's next is returning that email
mm.
and then taking this breath.
Yeah.
And then each thing in its time you show up for fully.
Yeah.
and give yourself fully to that thing. That's what your life is for.
Yeah.
And that
Yep.
the even if you create, and not even if you do, because I think you and I have clear, I think you were very aligned that, without a big enough why, then it's the bigger the why, the more possibility you have for fulfillment. But even the bigger the why, you still have only doing the dishes as your access.
Yeah.
There's still not some magical access that's coming. There's still chopping wood, carrying water. That's all there's going to be.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. There's a there's a piece in here you were talking about distraction, and it uh a distraction as a experience, I think only happens, let me see if that's true. It only happens when it's in competition to something else. Like I set my life up to be first, not last. And anything that gets in the way of that is a distraction of the thing I said I set my life up for. If I don't have that goal, if I don't have that um, thing out in my future, then doing the dishes isn't a distraction. It's only a distraction when it's interfering with the thing I said I wanted to go do.
and when it's looked at as if it's in the way of me
Right,
doing what I want to do, not the
right,
access to me doing
right,
what I want to do.
right, right.
Yeah.
And so I bring it up because if we can bring the telepathy tapes into this for a minute,
Ooh.
the whole thought of like there is communication constantly happening that we're not present to, and so doing the dishes to the things that occur as distractions could be communications that if you heard them that way, all the input, all the data coming, if you can listen in the clearing, in the opening, what used to occur as a distraction could actually be a communication or an invitation even.
Mm.
But we don't tend to we only kind of like put our walls up and be like, that's a distraction, because we're so focused on being first, not last, or whatever the thing is. We just don't have, I don't think most of us, myself included, I think I'm somewhere in the middle of this, don't have a relationship to all the stimulus we can hear being invitations or being able to discern the invitation, because I'm only focused on the distraction. Not this, not this, not that, not that. I got to do this. I got to do this. So much, my to-do list is so long, and I'm so anxious to do the thing that I set my life up for, that I got to do that. And everything's a distraction. So my whole life gets lived as a
Mm.
reaction to the distraction, and not that, not that, not that, versus how much benevolent communication is maybe happening, inviting you to consider something that you just can't hear.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, and, there, we argue that there shouldn't be dishes to do, or that,
Right.
I'll get it done when I'm not distracted, or I
Yeah.
didn't get, this happens all the time. I didn't get that done because I got distracted. I
All right.
can't tell you the
Mm-hmm.
number of people I coach where that's the,
Mm-hmm.
thing, and they don't have the kind of integrity where they just go off their schedule.
Yeah.
Like if it's in my calendar, that's what I do. And I I don't get distracted. That's the other thing, is I know that would be an Esther Hicks take on this. You're not, when the actions you're taking are aligned actions, you don't get distracted by things.
Mm,
You're
mm,
not
mm,
taken off task
mm-hmm,
when the action you're taking is aligned action.
mm,
Or it's harder to take you off task because you're aligned action, and that other action that's showing up like a distraction is not an aligned action, so it doesn't vibrate at the same resonance. So you could uh, say that, okay, if I'm distracted by doing the dishes, that means that's where my vibration is. That's where I'm vibrating at the level of doing the dishes. That's I Doing the dishes would be an aligned action at that moment, because that's what's resonating right now. I don't have a higher calling. I don't have, something else vibrating. So honor the vibration I'm at. Like you can, this would be an Esther, you know, stepping up the scale slowly. You
Yeah.
don't go from 0 to 100. You go from
Yeah.
0 to 1 to
Uh-huh.
2. So doing the dishes is the net. And then from there, from that space, okay, what's the next aligned action? What's the next action that's calling me
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
And as you slow down and eliminate the debate
Yeah. Right.
about whether what's the right thing to be doing,
Yeah.
and you can then begin to hear the fight or flight mechanism. Like I'm scared to make that call. Like the call, the making the calls shows up, right? Like I have my new prospecting manual that I'm putting together on how to prospect mindfully. So
Mm.
now if I'm vibrating it, I would rather do the dishes than call,
Right.
right?
Right.
Good. So I'm going to do the dishes, but now the dishes are done. And calling still is in the mind of, what I should be doing is to do that. So rather than, you know, numb myself out to that and just whatever, do something not as confronting, I could stop and take the time to get aligned with the thought. Like it's
Mm.
there calling me.
Yeah.
Do I take the time to raise my alignment to that thought to get up to a level at which that would then be the aligned action to take?
Mm.
Like I'm not stuck at whatever I'm not stuck at whatever vibration I happen to be in.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, it makes me think of rampages of gratitude, like
Yeah.
it's an Esther thing. Like it starts off when I've done rampages the way she describes them, it starts off kind of slow and neutral. Like, oh, I really like this desk and this microphone. And then it's yeah, and then you just kind of it builds from level one to a level
That's
two,
right.
from two to three. It turns into this momentum by the end. I mean, I can be flying high.
Yeah. And then there you go. Right. Then now your vibration is there and you're doing that.
Right. Yeah.
That's good. All
That's a
right.
really good
Can you pause the
exercise. Like,
recording for just a second? Just pause the recording for a second.
yes, we're back.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Now I can't remember fully, but do you have it? Okay, go.
No,
You go.
what were you going to say?
Well, just when you had started about, the distraction is away, or I was just thinking about Brother Lawrence. I feel like we've talked about this, but back in the day, I think he was a Franciscan monk way back. Then his whole thing was wash the dishes, like practicing the presence of God through washing dishes. It was
Yeah.
like, it's just like, no, that's just what there is to do. Oh, and we were talking about like rampaging and building from one to two to three. That's where we were just before we paused. But yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was thinking about that my partner came up with, um, it has different prompts, different ways to begin to notice the vibration
Hmm.
that we're at,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and then to look to see, is this the vibration I want to stay at? Is this, I mean, on one hand, okay, again, paradoxically, on one hand, maybe all there is to do is the dishes. And then to see what's next, and you can't see what's next until the dishes are done.
Hmm.
And then you do the dishes. So that's what's there. There's also, you can also take the time to get present to what is your everyday mind? What is the situation? You know, like a weather report. Like, okay, it is cloudy and it's probably 55 and it looks like rain, right? That's the weather report right now. I can see outside. And right now, the internal weather report is we got a fire smoke detector.
I can't hear it.
Really? You can't hear
No.
that?
No.
Oh, isn't that great? I didn't
Zoom
know
is
that
so good
didn't
at
come
blocking that
through.
out. Must be
That's good.
distracting for you though.
Yeah, it was.
Distraction is the way though, Aaron.
It is the way. So I get to burst out of the room and yell at my wife for burning something. Um, but so then what's my internal weather? Okay, I feel a little bit hesitant to make calls today. I'm a
Mm.
little bit worried about, where my next deal is coming from. I have too many things on my list that aren't written down, so they're in my head.
Yeah.
And that's how this feels right now.
Yeah.
And then you can begin, okay, well, what's the next thing to do? See, I think if you just gave yourself space
Mm-hmm.
to notice what's there,
Yeah.
3 breaths, right? And then what's the smallest
Mm,
move I can make? Or what's the next true move I can make? What's the next move that's consistent with,
mm,
you know,
mm, mm.
that'll provide that's accessible, right? Because I think,
Yeah.
you don't move from 0 to 100. What's the next accessible move
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
make in this regard? And you're constantly tuning in to see your alignment, to see your vibration, to feel how you feel in that moment.
Yeah. Reminds me of the slowing down conversation we had several episodes ago. Like, when you're in the zone, time can slow down. Like Michael Jordan's like, like
Yeah.
and then that just made me think of I love the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies. Um, and in the first one, he's got this fight scene, but he does this.
Yes.
It's like his brain, and he's like
Yes.
he sees it. It's super slow. He's like, first I'm gonna hit here, and then I'm gonna hit here, and then it goes to real time, and he's like, and he does all the things he was gonna do. But like that example of things slow down, I think that's kind of what we're talking about here. Like if you can start to
Yeah.
mindfulness in the midst of what's the internal weather report, like noticing this thought, this is how that feels to me. I think mindfulness is an access to um, hearing or seeing those thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Like,
That's right.
oh,
To be
yeah,
able to be able to hear what's not happening, like to be able to hear where you're at.
yeah,
What wants to happen next. That's the other thing,
mm,
and this is something I teach from all the time. I lead programs from this principle all the time, which is, look, there's a future you want, and there's a future that wants you.
mm,
And those are different
mm,
sometimes.
mm.
The future I want usually involves ESPN, Sports Center, you know, like that. Just does. That's just the way that is.
And plant medicine.
And yeah, some version of plant medicine. And that's the future I want.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
like on that level. But then there's also the future that wants me,
Mm,
which is a world that works for people and an opportunity to make a difference for people. And, you know, people
mm,
experience agency.
right. Yeah, right. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
Yeah. So there's that space of acknowledging that, like, and that's just a question of listening and intuiting it. It's not true. It's not there's a real future that really does,
right.
and
That,
it's like that. It's
yeah.
like that opportunity.
I think it was in the Secret movie, so The Secret, when Neil Donald Walsh is saying, like, there's not some chalkboard in the sky that says, like, my name, Chris Angel, his purpose in the future is, it's not like your future is written in stone, like that there's one way this can go, or there's one future that's calling you, but there's I mean, back to the advanced course, you get to sort of write that. You get to say
Yeah.
what is aligned action for you? What do you want to do? Can you get present to a future that wants you? You have a future that you want. Maybe it's Sports Center and plant medicine, but then there's a future
Yeah.
that in some space really inspires you, that is really calling you forward. It's not the right answer. It's just a possible
Right.
direction to go. It's a cathedral you could build. You could build many cathedrals, but it's one of the cathedrals you could build. And it's inspiring. It doesn't occur like, I mean, it doesn't have to occur like labor, like the first stonemason who's, sweating and
Mhm.
cussing, trying to chip
Right.
stone. Like it can occur like, oh, if I can get rid of the thought that that things are a distraction, and get rid of the thought about my old identity being first not last, and all of that anxious energy, and just get present to like, yeah, I made coffee today and I'm going to take it in I'm going to send one inspired email about the cathedral I'm building. Could that be enough for you? I mean, I don't think most people would. I think most people would say it's not enough.
Right.
No, I got to do more. I got to do more. I got to do more.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I
All
think
right.
that's a really, and that's so I know the work of Byron Katie comes in here. The question is this true? Is this
Mm,
useful?
mm-hmm,
Who would I be without this thought?
mm-hmm,
When
mm,
you are questioning, is it enough? Is this the right action? Those are some discerning questions that you could ask,
yeah.
that would bring some clarity to the situation. Is it true? Stephen asking, engaging, is it true? Or did I make this up?
Yeah.
Is it useful?
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
How do we wrap this up? I feel like I mean, this is,
Yeah, I think I think it's a useful place to engage in without, an answer, without an end. It's
mhm.
a place to play with this week. So when you're engaging in whatever's next for you, whatever's up for you, whatever conversation or work that you're doing, tune in and look to see what's the next inspired action that you can take. What's the next action that would make a difference there? What's the next action? And then look to see what action you're called to take. And notice if you're called to take some just action by distraction. Ooh,
Yeah.
right.
Ooh, ooh.
Exactly.
Wow.
Then, look to see, is it something that you are aligned with? Is it something that is, uh, is that, what's that the way to,
Mm, mm,
you know? Um,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Love that.
yeah,
Awesome. There you go, everybody. You have a homework assignment. You've got a place to go engage. Awesome.
yeah,
Love that. This is we've had we've had over 114 conversations on this podcast. I really like, this is one of my top
yeah. It's a good, I
10.
like how it doesn't have a particular end to it.
Yeah. 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 Do you want to talk about Stand Store? Or
Yeah, if you're
can,
interested in, yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in the mindfulness work, but then the cohort date system didn't work for you to start at a particular time, and it didn't make you can't make it work. You can go to my stand store, which is just the stand.store/realtors edge, although I'll be moving the Realtors Edge website over to that. So the realtorsedge.com. And you can get the entire mindfulness class in there on demand for free. So
wow.
the videos, the introduction to each meditation is there, and then the meditation is either there or on gratefulmeditations.com.
Mm,
You can get all the meditations on gratefulmeditations.com.
mm,
And from there, you can, work your way through the course by yourself. The book is online. You download the book and join the community there. And that's stand.store/realtors edge. And again, all free, all an opportunity to, look to see for yourself what mindfulness would make, how mindful, and then you have it. If you've done the course already, then you have access to just the talks without the meditation, because that's useful for people. They don't have to go through other people sharing or just the actual setup for the talks.
yeah. Yeah. And that's Stan, Stan. First time you
Yes.
told me about, I thought it was stand with a D
Yeah.
on it. That's STAN.store. I'll put the links in the show notes, everybody, if you want to just click them. Um, awesome. I love it. Well, thanks everybody for being here. If you like the show, if you're a longtime listener, I haven't checked to see our reviews lately, but why don't you leave us a review on the podcast directory
Why
of your
don't you
choice?
leave us a review? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, be mindful. Let's go.
It's calling you. Why are you distracted? Stop getting distracted.
Let's take inspired action and leave us a review. All right, friends. Thanks, Aaron. We'll see you next time.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.